what do you prefer, studio or touring or writing?
They're very different. I don't prefer any of them. They're all like their own world, you know. What I like is being able to do all of them, you know.
Right.
Um, I wouldn't like to just write and never tour. I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like to just do studio sessions and never write, you know, or whatever. So no, it's like they're each their
World to enjoy.
own world to enjoy. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't really expect an answer to that because the way you talk about them, like there's a smile in every step, every like I pick up a guitar or a keyboard. But
yeah.
when you
So
write, what do you usually reach for first? You just sit down, like I'm gonna go to my creative space,
I,
glockenspiel,
I totally.
accordion.
I usually keep, you know, I have a small studio here, and in my studio, I've got my favorite keyboard, my Montage 88, fantastic weighted synthesizer action. I've got a great console and everything. I've got several computer systems all interfaced together. But I'll always sort of keep a guitar in the living room most of the time. So even if it's not, if I'm not plugged into anything, or if it's acoustic, I'll just maybe just grab it just because I would just want to play it, you know, and the TV will be on
Just
in the background.
a
My wife,
noodle. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. She might be on the sofa, like reading the newspaper, or doing something, or in the kitchen fiddling around, and I'll just grab it and just, you know, just play it, and just for the joy of touching it, kind of thing. Maybe something comes out, but I'll never sit down with an idea. Okay, when I pick this thing up, when I put it down, I want to have a solid idea. No, no, it's for you. It's like almost, you know, if you weren't there, you missed it. You know, whatever came out, and if it's memorable enough for you to then take it somewhere and do something else, but it's just sort of not about that. It's almost like, you know,
Keeping
it's
the
like,
bring
well,
time
it's like
instead.
it's almost like giving your partner a hug, just because they
Ah,
were standing around. You
I love
know,
that.
doing anything special. It's just, you know, just here. Here's a
That's what
hug.
you do. It's your comfort. I like
Yeah.
it. What's the instrument that you have owned the longest?
Ooh, ooh. If I didn't have to go up and go into another room and get it, I could show it to you. But it is a Stratocaster. It's a Fender Stratocaster with a maple neck, and I got it in the early '80s, and I got it through Eric Clapton's guitar tech at the time. Yeah, at the time. What was his name? Oh, fuck, he's legendary in my mind. Anyway, I got it because I was working with this Italian singer named Zucchero. And Zucchero was very popular in Italy and Europe, in, you know, in Spain and France and everything. Zucchero could fill the same kind of rooms that Sting and Peter Gabriel were playing in at that
Was
time.
was that pop music?
Italian pop, yes, Italian.
My the vocalist I referred to earlier, Mike Patton, did a show of Italian pop tunes. That's why I know that name. He learned Italian, moved to Italy, and did a
Yeah,
show of doing Italian pop songs.
he's
Okay,
huge.
sorry, I just said
No, 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 but that's the guy. So, and uh, I had been working with him since like the early '80s. And the way that I began working with him was because I was a session musician on a session. Do you know who Narada Michael Walden is?
no, I do not.
Okay, he's a producer. He used to be the drummer for the Mahavishnu Orchestra. And then what happened was Clive Davis realized that he actually had great producing talents, and he had a great career as a producer. He produced Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, a lot of females, very successful female singers at the time. Anyway, he called me. I used to go to San Francisco about 2, 3 times a year to do sessions for him as a producer. And Zucchero had this sort of penchant. He did not want to record with Italian musicians. He would fly from Italy to San Francisco and record with American musicians, a lot of African American, you know, musicians, not exclusively, but. And his producer was an Italian guitarist named Corrado Rustici, who, again, in Italy, you're very famous for producing. So we did this record, and it led to he kept calling me to do other records and stuff. So now we're doing a tour, and he gets asked to be the opening act for Eric Clapton on the English part of Eric's tour. So Eric Clapton is there in Italy at a sound check, and he sees me. I played guitar. Zucchero hired me as a keyboard player, but I always end up, not always, but usually I'll end up getting asked to play guitar in a situation like that. So he knew I played guitar because I played guitar in Santana on the
Mhm.
tour I did within the album I did back there. Anyway, so out of this whole set, I think I played guitar on like 2 songs. And now Eric has just come down to Italy. I think we're playing in like in Sicily somewhere. And it's outside, summertime, Italy, beautiful, great weather. And he's just checking us out. He's backstage and we're doing our set. And he came up to me. He said, "Man, really, I like how you sound. And great. It's great that you're playing guitar in this." And so then we get to England, and his technician came to me and he said, "Hey, look, if you're interested in getting another instrument, I can hook you up from the factory." So what he did was, his name was Lee Daniels, I think his last name was. Uh, he said, "What would you like?" Oh, I said, "I really like Stratocasters because that's what Jimmy played. Jimi Hendrix was absolutely my guitar looking, guru. And I'd like a Stratocaster with a maple neck and like a white one if you can get it, because that was Jimmy's, that's the guitar I associate him with most, especially in the later years. And that's what he was able to get for me. It wasn't like hard white; it was a kind of very pale yellow, kind of whitish, but it had a maple neck and everything. And I have that to this day. I used it in so that's I'm gonna say let's go back to 1980, maybe 82, somewhere in there.
Good year.
So that's the oldest instrument I've had. And it's my favorite guitar of all time.
That's I love asking that question when I get a chance to. We Here's the thing. You're our first professional touring musician. It is so hard to get musicians to come to a talk show. So
Oh,
I'm blown away you're here. So thank you,
that's okay.
because I grew up surrounded by musicians. My brother's a guitar player. My other brother's a guitar player. Music has been in my life, even though I like to say I'm only a vocalist. I'm not a musician. And then somebody corrects me and says, "No, you are." I'm like, "No,
Yeah,
we're not."
hello. Don't say
Vocalist
that
starts.
about yourself. Get out of here. Don't say that. That's
Uh,
ridiculous. Listen, I used that instrument. We put out last November, um, before the election, the first song on this new project I'm working on called "The
that's
Ghost
what
of
I
Jim."
want to go to now. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, so if you look at that video, that's the guitar that I'm playing in it. It ends
Okay.
with a guitar solo, and that's the instrument that I'm playing. That same one from 1982, 81 or something.
So I want to talk about the Ghost of Jim Crow, but you have
Yeah.
the Open Secret tour that you're just about
Yes.
to get started on, and I want to
That's
get the information out there. And you're with Will Calhoun.
yeah.
You're touring East Coast a lot, and I just want
Yeah.
let's get the word out, tell people where you're going to be, what they should expect, and what kind of show it's going to be.
It's going to start on the 1st of May. And I know that our first show is in Marlborough, New York. I do not have, you must forgive me, I don't have that whole schedule in front of my face. And if I don't have it, I cannot accurately repeat it. But
Sure.
if you go to my website, www.thereal, there you go,
Yep.
therealdavidsancious.com, under
Thank you,
there.
Josh.
Oh, thank you, Josh. All the information is there. It has every tour date, what cities we're in. I know we're in New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont.
New
Uh,
Hampshire, I think you end.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, please go to the site. And so there's information about that and also how to get tickets. You can get all that information right there. And we're going to have merchandise, of course. We're going to be offering, I just authorized a remaster of my album, first solo piano album from 1981, The Bridge. It's going to be put out by this company, Iconoclastic Records. And my engineer, Robert Fraza, and I, we just completed a beautiful digital remaster of it. So that's going to be offered for sale as merchandise at the concerts. And
Nice.
also, we'll still have also copies of Eyes Wide Open in vinyl, and plenty of CDs of Eyes Wide Open that we'll be offering at the concerts. And then I think our tour starts on the 1st of May, and I think Iconoclastic Records will be offering the CD, I think, around the same time, the end of April or early May.
Beautiful.
So you can
Beautiful
go to,
timing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And they did a great job. It's a really nice package, and it sounds fantastic.
Tell us about the Ghost of Jim Crow. I was fortunate enough to listen to 3 tracks, some bits of tracks. Thanks for sending that along. Blew me away. It spoke to me. This is the kind of music, as you know, like I when I listen to jazz, from some of my references I've dropped, it's eclectic, it's moving, it's experimental in some ways. That's what I got out of what I heard. What
Well,
how would you classify it?
well, I want to be sure we're not conflating projects, because the Ghost of Jim Crow project, we have the first song
Did
got
I?
released that last November. It's called Why Must It Be
Yeah.
So? Okay, that's the first one from that particular project. Um, and then we're about to release the second song from that. I think it's going to end up being like a trilogy. So the second song from that
Okay.
is going to be released next week, and that's going to be called Now We Dream. But we offered 2 examples of the Open Secret Project music, 2 live
Oh,
examples.
I apologize.
No, no worries, no worries. So yeah, you can hear those as well. So that's me and Will live. I
Oh,
think
that's amazing.
that's from 20, let me tell it true, 2019, I think, was our first tour on the East Coast. And it's just 2 examples of what we get up to live. But it's amazing. The unique thing about that project is that we do a combination of form and improvisation. So the set will have a couple of songs where, okay, this is a written song. Here's how it starts. Here's what's in the middle. And here's how we want it to end. But a lot of what we do, we sort of compose in real time. It's like improvising with another person on another instrument, but we're doing it right in front of your face. It's like, and I swear to you, the results are incredible.
When
That's
2 people
so,
click.
yeah, it's like that, and I mean, it's the same kind of energy. I grew up listening to people improvise. Like I grew up listening to Keith Jarrett do like solo piano compositions, just stunning music live in front of your face that would sound like,
Just
my
pouring
God,
out.
how
Yeah.
long did it take to rehearse that? And he's doing it. And people like that, Herbie Hancock, Chick, people who can improvise like that in real time. And to be able to do that with another person on another instrument,
Live.
it live is really fantastic. So we just love it. We don't get to do it as much as we'd like to. I live in Hawaii full time now. Here I'm on the island of Kauai, and Will is in Brooklyn, and he's very
Very
busy
different.
with other artists. Yeah, and we've both got other projects going on, but we're very happy to be doing it again. And we record everything live. Every single time we get together is recorded in a great way live, and I think we're going to excuse me, put something out, towards the end of this year, and
I'll
see,
be looking forward to it.
yeah.
I
It's,
and I might try to find a way to get to one of those shows, because
oh, please
those
do.
the tracks I did here, I was just like, this is like I wanted more. It was one of those like, yeah, keep going. This is exactly what sticks in my brain, that inspires me.
Yeah.
You're a master improvisationalist, yet you are very intentional with with a lot of the things you do as well. How do you
Mhm.
combine those worlds? And like, getting back to the Ghost of Jim Crow, where was the improv and intention in your creation of this set of songs? Like,
There's not that much thinking involved, is the honest answer to that. There's not that much thought. There's not that much in terms of the project itself. It flew into my head one day. I knew that I had a couple of songs, and I wanted them to be vocal songs, or they were already vocal songs in process or something. And I knew that I wanted to address this kind of energy that we're going through now with what's going on with the administration. with people being, they're basically trying to, like, write black people out of history, physically. There's portraits of people
Physically.
being taken down in federal buildings, people who served and who did this and that and all kinds of, nonsense. So I knew that I wanted to have an overarching title. And I swear to you, it just flew into my head one day. And I remember Bruce did an album years ago called The Ghost of Tom Joad.
Hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I know the name. It was not in my lexicon then, that's for sure.
It's a solo album. It's not an E Street Band album. It's Bruce on his own, being very, very serious. And the title of it, I encourage you to check it out. It's called The Ghost of Tom Joad. Now, Tom Joad was a figure around the era of the Great Depression in America. So it all goes into that whole period of time when things were really, really hard for working people, and the things that Woody Guthrie were singing about. Anyway, so it's a very deep album.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I was sitting around and it just flew into my head like the ghost of Jim Crow, because we're entering into an era where something that not that everyone thought that we had dealt with all of
We
Jim
fixed it.
Crow. No, we didn't fix it, but it was certainly sort of suppressed and contained, and
Hopefully going away, we could see a future. Yeah.
exactly. So I thought, yeah, great, that'll do. And then everything came from there. So that is the one. I think the third song, the next one, I'm really getting ahead of myself because we're talking about stuff that the people haven't heard the second one yet, which I just finished last night, and we're
Wow.
sending.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I'm about a week behind on it. I was hoping to have it finished and you would have a chance to hear it before our conversation, but that's me being done. But
No, I probably would have screwed it up anyway.
no, it's a bad job.
This is your song from 1970. It sounds so new.
Oh, but the final track I think is going to be the title track, and that is definitely. It's almost like a really wicked. It's like a hip hop sounding track, but it's very, very heavy, and lots of guitar, lots of really, really rude electric guitar, very blue, um, funky beats, heavy. And I'm talking about lyrically. I'm talking about all the stuff that's we're seeing in the news every day right now. All these insane efforts to dismantle a structure, these efforts to damage people who don't need to be damaged by these changes, to take away goods and services and things that people rely on to live, to keep a roof over their head and be healthy and all that.
To take care of others, even.
Yeah, you could just say that it's seriously not anti-Trump, it's way anti-Trump, but it's anti the negativity, it's anti the idea that we need to have a society wherein so many people are being damaged, and only the wealthiest people who don't give a flying fish about the price of eggs,
We can say fuck here.
or whether they're okay, or whether
Yeah.
they're paying $2,000 more for their the next car they choose to buy. And the thing that bothers me most about it all is really this: these people, these inept, incompetent people, beyond being like the most inappropriate people for the job, they are not Americans. They have not taken seriously, or it hasn't taken root in them, what it means to be an American and to live by the laws and the principles of this country that people have fought and died for and continued. You're not American if you can suddenly turn your back on a country that was invaded by Russia on a date certain with cameras rolling. You can't flip that around and say, no, Ukraine was the aggressor. It's your fault now.
Yeah.
What is that? Excuse me. Donald Trump has become like a Russian agent. It's insane. It's obviously Putin has had the goods on him since day one. All right. It makes no sense for him to behave that way. It's an embarrassment for us as a nation to be represented by someone so reprehensible and so rude. But this is the struggle. This is what we're in now. And it's a fight for decency. It's a fight for the rule of law. Or do we let this guy, most inappropriate, unempathetic, malignant narcissist Donald Trump and his buddy from South Africa with deep roots in apartheid and Nazi leanings come to America and destroy the place? Or do we all say enough is too much? That's it. We will fight you in every level. We'll fight you in the appellate courts, the Supreme Court, on the streets. We'll piss on your stupid car. It's the ugliest thing anybody's ever seen. You couldn't pay me to be seen in that damn thing. You got me going now. Let me just.
No, you know what? That's you're telling us what's in the album as well, and I don't think there are. Of course, there are people who disagree with everything you just said.
Of course.
But the one thing that you really you started with in a structural thing, people need to remember to be decent to each other. That's what an American is. We love communities. We build communities. We push people together. We find reasons to unite. And I think we've lost a lot of that, be it politics, be it Trump, be it whoever. We need to get back to that. And I think that's what people are reacting to a lot as well. We lost the ability to go say hi to our neighbor. And that's destructive.
That's at the root of it, absolutely. But we also seem to have forgotten why we got into World War II and stopped the most insane and dangerous campaign of all time until Trump comes along. We stopped Adolf Hitler and the Nazi movement to not just extinguish the Jewish population, but to actually take over the whole flippin' planet.
That was the goal. Yeah.
So, oh God, look how many people, my father and uncles and everybody fought in the war, and some of them didn't come back the same people, So it's the idea of like, what is that all about? We can't live in this world together and just be, I'm okay and you're not. It's all about America first and everybody suck wind. That is ridiculous. And there was 80 years of a cooperative effort to, okay, World War II is over. We're going to stop all this shit now. Then here's the U.S. and the rest of the world, the Cold War, all that stuff going on. We didn't do all that for it to end up where it is now.
Exactly.
Where suddenly we are, and it's embarrassing to see how Donald Trump and his administration of the most inept people are representing this country. I did not.
Or POWs.
I didn't expect to see that, but I know they're wrong and messed up. But listen, the whole thing is that now this is what we're confronted with. Now is the time more than ever. Whatever you once believed in, it's unfortunate that the Democratic Party lost the election. It's super unfortunate Donald Trump is in power right now. And you're seeing the effects of that every day. That's not just my personal opinion. It's a fact. Every day that this person remains in power and is able to do the damage that he's doing is not a good thing. But if you believe what you once believed in, you believe in it stronger than ever, and do everything that you can in your own way, in your own life. You might not be an artist. You might not have a lot of money. You might not know what you can do, but take the time and activate yourself, because pushing back against all this wrongness will have an effect. It works. We have to stop it, and we stop it by degrees, but it is definitely a fight, and it's a fight that we're all in, whether we realize it or not. Every one of us are in this because we are all affected by it.
I 100% love what you're saying there, and I just want to it goes back to, you were saying persevere. That's the one thing you could tell yourself if you had 10 minutes. It's the same thing we're telling people now. Believe in what you believe, stick with it, do what is right by each other, like David's told us here. And with that, we have reached our hour, David, and I could talk to you all night long. I really could. There's so much to talk to you about, and I love your convictions. I don't want to end here, but you've given us an hour, and I can't be happier to have met you tonight.
I'm going to cut you off. Can I tell you one more quick event that's coming up very soon?
Yeah, absolutely. So, everything you want to talk about, this is your space.
So on the 3rd of May, there's going to be a presentation in my hometown in Belmar, New Jersey. The Belmar Arts Council has purchased a weatherproof digital piano that'll be permanently installed in the town square, and they're dedicating it to myself and my mother and my family. And that's going to be a 2-hour ceremony in the town square of Belmar, New Jersey, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on May the 3rd. And there's going to be some performances. I'm going to play some music. There's going to be some other people who are going to perform. But if you're in the area, come check it out.
Might be a good reason to be in the area. Like, that sounds amazing. And I'm glad your hometown, they're treating you the way you should be. You are a legend. You've changed. I like to think of it like, when you put something out there, you're changing lives. You've changed every life in America in some way, and every life in the world in some way. And I believe for the positive. You've inspired people. You've inspired me tonight. You are just a fantastic guest. So thank you so much, David. I loved having you on our show.
Thank you for having me. I truly appreciated it. It's wonderful speaking with you.
It's the best.